Alright. We're gonna start reading the very first SCP today. And like I said, a little bit groggy, but it should all be good. It should all be good. Okay, alright. We'll start reading SCP-1790 called Layla. That's a very... That's a simple name for one of these, you know? I'll double check. Okay, everything's good. We have a keto one to start. Great. it's a normal sized one, so that's a good start. Compared to last week on Sunday where we had an hour on to read. But yeah, here we go. Keto. SCP-1790 is to be housed in isolation in a modified standard humanoid containment cell. SCP-1790. Let me actually double check something. Oh. Oh god, there's a Discord hangout happening. Okay, but let me double check if I actually shared the link to my own Discord, because that would be embarrassing if I did. I did. We did. We good. Okay. Once again, Keto. SCP-1790 is to be housed in isolation in a modified standard humanoid containment cell. SCP-1790 is to be blindfolded at all times and filled with vocal restraints whenever it is outside its cell, except for testing or as medically necessary. Staff are to make no attempt to directly communicate with SCP-1790 except for the issuance of orders and directions. My nose has been itchy all day and I hate it. SCP-1790 is to be monitored at all times for any attempt to injure or kill itself, and any attempt is to be responded to with prompt and comprehensive medical attention. So whatever it is, it's definitely, I mean, I assume it's a humanoid SCP, but it could also be like just a sapient or sentient being. Because clearly whatever the state they are, they don't like it. They just want to leave this world. Any communication with SCP-1790 is to be conducted via an asynchronous text-based medium, and all communications from SCP-1790 are to be reviewed simultaneously by at least 3 staff members possessing level 3 clearance. All personnel responsible for handling of SCP-1790 are to be screened regularly for indications of SCP-1790 influence and are to be reassigned as necessary. I just need to reduce the volume on this one a little bit. There we go. If and when SCP-1790 dies, the Foundation is to canvass all hospital and licensed with midwives within a 500-kilometer radius, that is big radius, of the location where death occurred, and identify all persons born within 1 hour before or after the declared time of death. All persons so identified are to be covertly monitored until such time as the new instance of SCP-1790 can be identified, at which time it is to be taken into custody immediately and contained as per the above paragraph. So, I assume if it dies, it kind of like its being shifts into a newborn child, into any of these pregnant women in hospitals. I assume. I hope I understood that correctly. I might be fully wrong. In the event that any monitored individual dies of self-inflicted or violent injuries before SCP-1790 can be identified, a secondary canvass and identification of potential subjects is to be made. So, okay, so you don't know if the SCP can jump again to a different body. In the event that SCP-1790's death occurs in a region where the identities and locations of newborn infants cannot be accurately compiled, or when the number of potential subjects exceed the Foundation's ability to track, procedure anti-pass may be enacted at O5 discretion. Ooh, looks like they have a big boy maneuver that is rare. But they have to probably do it if worse comes to worse, they have to do it. I assume it's like one of those things where the Foundation secret might be in danger if they do it. You know, It's like, well, like, what it would just say, it doesn't matter if they know about us at this point. We have to do it. Or if, like, it doesn't matter if they find out about us. We will just have to we have to put a lot of budget into amnesticizing a bunch of people, but prioritizing the containment of SCP-1790 is much more important than people knowing about us. I assume that's the case. Why procedure anti-pass can only be enacted if O5 gives the go-to. SCP-1790 is an accumulation of human memories and an associated personality capable of preserving its existence after death by transmitting itself into the mind of a newborn infant. Oh. Capable of preserving its existence after death by transmitting itself into the mind of a newborn. That is. Does the infant like immediately know? Like it's like all those minds just overloading the infant's memories. Because that is. SCP-1790 currently inhabits the body of a Hispanic female, 33 years of age. SCP-1790's current state is the 7th instance that has been identified to date in the 7th instance. So there's like 7 minds in one body. That has been identified to date. In interviews, it has claimed to have existed as at least distinct individuals since its first incarnation in Redacted. Interviews and testing have determined that all instances of SCP-1790 possess full recall of the known memories of each prior instance and share similar personality traits. Sorry if I sound a bit I feel like my voice sounds a bit different. Hey Howard, welcome. You still at the very beginning of the first one. You haven't missed much. But my man, my boy, my brother, 3 hours is not enough sleep. 3.5 hours is what you got? That is not enough. What are you doing? Because I saw your message on Discord, be like, hey, I will set an alarm, and I was like, that is. Try to find more time. Like at the end, it is your life. I assume you're a grown adult. So, like whatever you do with your sleep schedule, even though like I can't be worried. It's up to you. Like I cannot like tell you how to live your life. But also at the same time, it's a bit worrisome to know that you only got 3 hours of sleep. If you even got those 3 hours. I don't even know if you slept at all. So yeah, the SCP right now is Keto. It's yeah, thanks. If I suddenly disappear from the stream though, I might have fallen asleep. Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. The first SCP we're reading right now it's a Keto one. It's an accumulation of 7, including the body that it's inhabiting right now. But it's 6 minds. Like it's a accumulation of memories and personality put into one person. And whenever they die, that whole accumulation of memories, which means the 7th person and all the other 6 ones, will go into a newborn child in a radius of was it radius of 500 kilometers? Yeah, from wherever that person died. So, whichever the Foundation have to then scour as many hospitals as possible and midwives to make sure whichever newborn child might be SCP-1790. Might be. That's all we know so far. Also, that it has the tendencies to kill itself, which is less ideal. But of course, it's like the idea of like having so many different memories and personalities and minds in one body is probably very overwhelming. Okay, the means by which SCP-1790 transmits to a new instance at the time of death is unknown. All attempts to block transmissions have failed to date. Transmission of consciousness appears to occur at the time when brain activity ceases in the current instance, and is not prevented by keeping the instance clinically alive after brain death. In all documented transmissions, the new instance has been identified as a person with a documented time of birth less than 1 hour after the assumed time of brain death, born within a 500-kilometer radius of the location where the previous instance died. SCP-1790 has shown no preference for infants of any specific gender or ethnicity, so it's unknown how it does it, and it doesn't really have a specific target. It's just kind of like boop, picks one, which makes it tracking it down so much harder. Because, like, how do you plan to find, like, how do you even find it? The Foundation has so much work to do. 500-kilometer radius, every hospital, every potential pregnant woman that's in there could have the SCP in it, and you don't know until the baby's born? Who knows? All instances of SCP-1790 have been noted to possess a high degree of natural charisma and rhetorical skill, and have been demonstrated to be highly capable of convincing others to follow their instructions. Is that like later on, or is that when they are born? Can you imagine? A baby just comes out and it's like, okay, now listen up. Good job, everybody. Good job. But now I'm in charge here, okay? Imagine a baby just coming out, just talking like the big boss in town. SCP-1790 has demonstrated an expert ability to cold read individuals within seconds of beginning a conversation and determine how to converse with that individual in order to coerce their agreement. No indication of a mimetic or hypnotic effect has been associated with the ability. Persons interacting with SCP-1790 have reported no compulsion or involuntary urge to obey or agree with SCP-1790, except in that they find its rhetoric highly convincing. It is the boss baby. You are right. It is the boss baby. SCP-1790's persuasive abilities are maximized when it is able to converse with another person face to face, covering SCP-1790's eyes, removing the second party from its physical presence, or conducting a conversation in writing rather than verbally, inhibiting its ability to read and persuade other persons. I just now realized that one of my videos I uploaded, which you, Howard, you had such a good pun for it, which I did say I will use that as a title. I did not do that. I need to change that when I get the chance. I just need to figure out which video that was again. In all instances where SCP-1790 has remained outside containment for a significant period of time, it has taken advantage of its charismatic abilities to establish itself as the leader of an insular and self-contained religious movement, whether by establishing one itself or assuming leadership of an existing group. Once in a position of leadership, SCP-1790 will induce the evolution of rites within the sect, idolizing mass murder and ritualized human sacrifice, and will, if not taking the containment, eventually organize and carry out a large-scale covert campaign of ritualized murders targeted against the general population within its area of influence. I kind of didn't catch that. Oh yeah, remember last week on Sunday, there's an SCP that you had a very clever pun for it, or word play for it, and I said, oh, I should use that as a title. I realized just now I didn't do that, and I just need to figure out which one that was again and then change that up. But that's for after the stream. That's not we're not going to do that now. This campaign will continue until SCP-1790 is either killed or apprehended. The sect collapses due to the arrest or death of its members, or the locale in which the sect operates has been depopulated, at which point SCP-1790 will abandon the sect and establish a new movement elsewhere. In all documented instances of SCP-1790 related campaigns, pregnant women and children under the age of 8, as well as members of associated sects themselves, have been excluded from those individuals targeted. Yeah, okay, that makes sense why they want to make it makes sense why it's a Keter level SCP, right? Because it can jump to any infant, as in once it's dead. If there's let's just say there's 50, maybe more, let's just say 100 infants get born in that radius, any of those infants could be the SCP. And if they don't figure that out by the time it's older, it will start a whole campaign, a whole like erasing of mankind in that area. And if you kill that person, or if you try to apprehend them, they will try to kill themselves anyway. Like and then it just restarts the whole cycle. And not only that, but also even if you are 100% sure you found the SCP, if that SCP dies during childbirth, that thing will jump to a different child, and then you have to do that thing all over again. Yeah, I can see how this must be a bitch to contain. It's just there's so many factors that can go wrong. SCP-1790 was first identified in 1868 when the ringleader of a group of is that supposed to be Thuggy or Thuggy or Thugge? Cultists operating in the area of Rajmahal, India, was apprehended by British authorities and sentenced to death. Prior to execution, claimed to be the reincarnation of a Thuggy leader who had been executed during the first wave of British I don't know how to say this word. You know, I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look up how to pronounce that. How to pronounce. Go ahead. Well, I could barely hear that. Okay, let me just. Thug. Is that really it? Sorry, music, I need to stop you for a moment. Thuggy. Okay, so I wasn't that off. Okay. Thuggy, I guess. I think it's Thuggies. Okay, yeah. Or Thuggies? God. In 1832. Comments were dismissed at the time. In 1893, 22 years after British authorities in India had declared the Thuggi. Feels weird to say that. I'm going to call it Thuggy movement extinct. A new Thuggy cell was found to be operating near Delhi, led by who similarly claimed to be the reincarnation of, and was transported to Great Britain and placed in custody there until his death of natural causes in 1899. In 1916, a string of murders in London with methodology similar to that used by Thuggy was traced to an Irish-born woman who told police upon apprehension that I lived 1,000 years and will return and kill again and again until I kill my Manan. Oh my god. And he rises anew from the slaughter after the connection was discovered between and the previous subjects. He was surrendered into Foundation custody. The name Majnun, referenced by SCP-1790, has been identified by Foundation historians as referring to Qais ibn al-Mulawar, a figure from Persian folklore who was involved in a forbidden romance with Layla, the daughter of a man who refused to allow the marriage. Okay. The degree to which SCP-1790 identifies with this figure has not been determined. Memo from Dr. Samesh. I am concerned that SCP-1790 is getting better at hiding itself from us each time it is reborn. We did not apprehend its most recent form until it was nearly 30 years old and had killed several dozen people. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, why it's so tough to keep track of where it actually is. SCP-1790 has had nearly a century to learn the way the Foundation operates and what we look for when it reincarnates, and its natural charisma goes a long way towards stopping its parents and family to suspecting that anything is amiss. I recommend that we relocate SCP-1790 to a more isolated region and establish a more severe revision of procedure anti-pass so that future instances can be identified in the infancy. Request received, Ethics Committee review pending, 0512. Yeah, honestly, I think the smallest choice here would be to build a foundation headquarters or like a containment headquarters. That's like somewhere in the middle of nowhere, you know, like you have almost no. Oh, wait, actually, I need to do something real quick. Need to have the text thing open. You like, as in like you in the radius, in the 500-kilometer radius. Let's just say there's like a small town at best, and that way, if the SCP dies, then you already know like where it is. Of course, the problem is if the SCP dies again in that area, then the radius, of course, is 500 kilometers from that point on again. But I think maybe the Foundation should like relocate it to somewhere where there's just where like in that giant radius there's just as little population as possible, because otherwise, yeah, that SCP will have much more chances to like hide away from them. I guess at the end, finding the SCP and then containing it and trying to relocate it. In doing all that time, the SCP could just make sure that they have some way to kill themselves. Like they could have like a cyanide tooth if they wanted to. If that, because like they would be so charismatic, they could technically arrange that to happen. It's like, hey, just find it like, hey, can I just get like somebody to give me a cyanide tooth, and then like whoever they're talking to might be like, yeah, no person, of course, we will trust you. We trust you. You've been so good to us. Why would we question your ways? That sounds like a pretty good idea. Not sure why they're not doing it already, to be honest. Yeah, like I said, I think it's because it has gotten so smart that like they probably, the risk of it having a way to kill itself or like prepare a way to kill itself in relocating it has increased by now. That like if they try to get it away in a far place, it could just end up killing itself before they could apprehend it, you know. So they need to find like a place that's close by to wherever the SCP is. But I would argue it's better to risk getting it to a further location that's far away from population, and see, and if it kills itself doing that on the way there, then at least you're a bit closer to that location than you were before. Yeah, no, it's a complicated one to like apprehend, right? Because like we said, it dies and it just jumps to an infant in the 500-kilometer radius, and then you have to figure out which one of these infants has the SCP, and keeping track of all these babies, and then like it's charismatic to the extent that the Foundation themselves might not even figure it out. Like imagine like the baby's like 12 years old, and it just talks with like charisma, and talks in such a way that you think nothing's wrong. Like your own brain would just be like, this kid is way too small for its own good, but like because of the SCP effect, you should just be like, that's just normal, and you walk away until it's like an adult and can arrange a whole cult and start going on a killing spree. Then you're like, oh shit, the kid I talked to that I thought was that was so like clever is actually the SCP, natural risk. Yeah, basically, right? You just don't think anything's wrong with it or with them, because they would just come across so charismatic, and your brain just doesn't see that anything wrong with it until it's too late. Not only that, as Dr. Samesh said, it will know better ways to like avoid the Foundation. The more it gets contained by the Foundation and then gets reincarnated, the better it will be at avoiding them. So yeah, they should just find a place to just pull it down. Like go to the Antarctic, just build a containment cell in the Antarctic, middle of it. Nobody else is around, just it and maybe a couple like gods and scientists. Done. That was a good start though. I do like it because it is like one of those things where like I always enjoy SCPs that make you like think and discuss it. It's very lowly rated, which is a shame. But I do think it's a cool idea of like this SCP that like of how hard it is to keep it contained, which is the reason why it's keto. But yeah, I do like it. I do like what we got.